Hey folks, I'm field testing Sig Sauer's new tread M400 Predator. This Predator differs in some of its other tread models in that it's set up a little more for hunters and varmint shooters, long range shooters with this full size stock 5-round magazine, but internally it's still the same badass tread. And the key here is Sig Sauer is now into the entry level AR-15s that perform and have the features of units costing much more. I'll tell you about them, but first I'm gonna shoot. As I've come to find out, unless you're a Navy SEAL or a true AR-15 snob or aficionado, most mil-spec ARs made by any company these days, because they're all machined to mil-spec tolerances, makes good ARs. It comes down to, one, the features that you want, and let's face it, everybody likes name brand stuff. And right now, the company that is killing it is probably the #1 company in terms of their products, their quality, the panache around them, the buzz, the hype, because they make good stuff, is Sig Sauer. Sig's got all kinds of rifles now and good stuff. You know, really they're top end comparable to Daniel Defense. Guns that work, that are made and well thought out really nicely. Well, finally, Sig has entered more of the economy AR line. This is their Sig tread line, and this is the Predator. This is more for guys who want a little bit further range because this stock is so wonderful. This is the Sig Predator. Let me tell you about the standard features on most tread guns, and then I'll tell you about what makes the Predator a little bit different. So starting from the barrel end, this barrel is threaded, of course, like all treads. But this one, the Predator, has a thread protector. It's not a bird cage because you don't need a bird cage or a flash hider for hunting. It just adds about 1 inch of length. This has got a 15.5-inch M-LOK machined aluminum forend, really nicely done. What's cool about this for hunting is that it's flat on the bottom, so you can rest that on a pack, on anything that you want. It's flat, it's conducive to resting. But the top is scalloped so it doesn't seem so blocky, and your thumb really fits on there well. Really well done on that handguard. Moving back, Sig did something really cool here. If you're left-handed, if you're one of those weird, distrustful lefties. Last time I said that, I mean the lefties just came out in full force. I'm just kidding. In fact, my own mother's left-handed. Anyway, they made this gun totally ambidextrous in that, of course, it's got the AR-15 safety on the right side, but they went ahead and put one on the left, but they didn't just put the same exact one to mirror it. They made this one truncated on the left side, so if you're a lefty you can work that with your thumb, but if you're a righty like most of us, it won't get in the way or disturb your trigger finger. So really well thought out there. Also, they made it a ambidextrous mag release button, so you've got the one on the right side, then you've got the one on the left for lefties, but rather than just slapping it on there and building it out straight through so it's either side, they actually machined a gate, a protective gate here in the receiver, in the lower receiver, so you can set it down flat and you're not going to hit that mag release button inadvertently. So really well done. And if I were left-handed, which I'm not, I'd go see, works just fine. Guys, give me a break. My girlfriend's left-handed. This thing has a 16-inch barrel, and it's got a mid-length gas tube, which is superior certainly to the pistol length and superior to the carbine length. These guns just run better. You should get the longest gas system that you can. This has it. Just a solid Sig AR-15. One thing that's cool about this gun, when you take it apart, and you'll notice that it is tight. You can't just pop that pin out with your fingernail. And the reason it's so tight and you don't have the play or slot between there is because Sig came up with just this really simple, innovative little buffer there. It's a rubber little buffer that you have to push down and really seat that, and that just tightens this gun up. There's no slop, no play, makes it quieter. You don't have that rattle. Very cool. Also into the lower receiver is machined yet another swivel port for a sling stud. There's also one in the stock. The trigger, Sig calls it hard polished. Yeah, it's kind of cool, but I'm going to get to the trigger later. It's actually one of the negatives on this rifle. So there are plenty of treads out there. There's a 308 version. There are plenty of 223s. Most of them have the collapsible stock, like are so popular, but the Predator differs in about 3 ways because it's more for hunters, or it's set up for hunters, or AR-15 guys that want a little longer range gun that's a little bit easier to shoot from prone or bench rest style positions. And mainly it's this stock. It's got Magpul furniture in the magazine, the grip, and the stock, but the stock, of course, is a full figured butt stock that's full length of pull, but it also features this handy dandy adjustable comb, so you can get a perfect cheek weld no matter how big of an optic you want to put on there. So really neat there. Of course, it's got the built-in underhook if you're resting. Secondly, the Magpul magazine. It comes with one 5-round magazine. Why does it come with the 5-round? Doesn't this seem silly? Well, actually, hunters know, because if you've ever tried to hunt with an AR-15, in most situations, or many situations, like a ground blind, any type of a blind, tree stands, or resting your gun, even with the bipod going prone, you put in a 30 mag, which of course this gun will accept all AR-15 standard mags, but if you're on a bipod, you wind up teetering on here, and that's horrible for accuracy. So that comes with the 5-rounder that I really like. I think that was a good move. Sig offers what it calls a elite jungle Cerakote finish. I love Cerakote. It just feels better. This stuff is, actually kind of thick. It looks good too, and let's face it, we all want a good looking AR, but it actually protects the gun, camouflages it, looks really good, it's well done. And also, the main thing, this is a hard cost. Sig just can't go through this step of Cerakote, and it costs them something. So to put this on an entry-level gun is really well done. So those are the 3 things that separate the Predator. Now in the field, it functioned great. In about 500 rounds, I had exactly 1 jam. It was awesome. Love the stock, my eye just fit on there. I did have 2 complaints about this rifle, and in reviewing guns, I try to be fair. I'm not beholden to Sig. They're not a sponsor, but I wish they were. But I try to be fair, and so some of them are nitpicky, but I think these are honest. Number 1, they call this a hard polished trigger. It's a combat trigger. The trigger sucks. It's not a precision trigger at all. So even though it's fairly crisp and feels okay, it's just too heavy. And I'll show you right here. 8.11, and it is consistent, I'll give it that. But Sig thinks everything out so well. 8.4. Sig thinks everything out so well. They've got engineers, they've got everything. It just blows my mind that they wouldn't put in a little bit lighter trigger. So that's one complaint. The second complaint, this magazine. Now, this is not an indictment on the gun, and I know it was a problem with this magazine because I tried the magazine in my other ARs that run everything just fine, and it also had a problem. But when this is loaded full, here's the 5th round, closed bolt, I cannot get this magazine to seat. It's just too tight. So I'll show you. So of course I take 1 round out, now it's 4, and so it seats just fine. Now you can still use the gun with 5 because I can open the bolt. There's just not enough space between the closed bolt and in this magazine. The spring's too tight in there, so then I can load it, and that's fine. Then I can load the gun like that, and I've got 5 rounds in it. But, and again, this is a Magpul magazine problem and not the gun, but just had to point that out. So at 100 yards with premium ammo, this was 1.35 inches, which I think is great for a carbine length 16-inch barrel. All in all though, a wonderful gun for an entry level, for any gun. You're just not gonna be able to tell the difference between this and like a $1,500 AR. This has got everything you need for just about any purpose that you could conceive of using an AR for. And of course, with just a few modifications, if you wanted to buy this gun and have it for predator hunting or whatever, but then be able to throw a collapsible stock on, that's easy, because of course the huge advantage of any AR is it's totally modular. You can put anything you want on it and deck it out like you want. I love this M-lock. You can put a thermal on here, a flashlight, whatever. It's a great gun, it's accurate, it's reliable, and it does not cost very much. See the price right there? As I film this, I'm not sure the price. It's not on the website and I've asked for verification, but this is a brand new gun. Folks, if you like what you see here and think it's a fair review, consider hitting like and subscribe. If not, cuss me out in the comments below. That's it for now. This is SIG's M400 Tread Predator. I'm Jeff Johnston, and that's no BS.